Today I'm going to walk you through 4 overlooked signs that you might actually be ready to retire early even if you're not 59 and a half yet. I'm Daniel, a certified financial planner and the owner of a fee-only financial planning firm. Every day I work with clients who think they're years away from retirement only to discover they're actually already ready to take the leap. The only thing holding them back is permission to do so. See, the traditional milestones like age 59 and a half or 62 or 65, they make us believe that retirement readiness is tied strictly to a date on a calendar, but those ages are really just arbitrary numbers for when you qualify for certain government benefits. The truth is a lot more nuanced. So today I'll show you 4 signs that you're more ready than you think and how these indicators can help you retire earlier and smarter. Let's talk about it. Sign number 1, you have more than enough saved but still feel unready. If you have already hit a major savings milestone like $800,000, $1 million, or even $1.5 million with a paid off home, but still find yourself hesitating, you might actually be more ready for retirement financially and not know it. This applies especially to folks in their mid-50s to early 60s who have disciplined savings habits but are waiting for some arbitrary age to give them permission to retire. Here's the thing. Most retirees, and human beings in general, are plagued by the belief that more is always better. We're never satisfied, we need more money, just a couple more years, more cushion for things that could potentially go wrong. It just never feels like the right time, nor does what you have ever feel like enough. But the truth is, waiting too long can cost you the best years of your life. The Employee Benefit Research Institute consistently finds that nearly 40% of Americans retire earlier than expected and often not by choice. And that might not necessarily be a bad thing. You see, I've worked with dozens of clients who delayed retirement even though they were financially ready, only to face a health crisis, a layoff, or just burnout. I'm sure you have a story like this too. Someone you know, a parent, friend, or maybe a coworker who tragically wasn't able to enjoy their retirement. So the idea that I'll just work a little longer to be safer often backfires because retirement doesn't just depend on money, it depends on the timing and your mentality as well. If you're in your late 50s or early 60s and have enough for retirement, what you're risking isn't just dollars, it's time, health, and energy. Priceless things that money cannot buy. So how do you know if you're actually financially ready for retirement? Here's a quick benchmark to get you thinking. Do you have at least 25 times your annual spending needs? And that's not income, that's spending. And do you have enough Social Security, pensions, or annuities to cover your essential living expenses? Chances are you're already where you need to be, or at least are really close to being there. If you want to know for certain, work with a comprehensive financial planner like myself to run a detailed Monte Carlo projection with built-in stress tests and worst-case scenarios in mind. Also, consider adopting a dynamic withdrawal strategy. Tools like Right Capital's guardrails approach, which I use in my practice, allow you to dynamically adjust for market shifts, unlike outdated success rate models that simply spit out a 80% score without telling you what to do next. The bottom line, if the numbers check out but your mind doesn't feel ready, the problem isn't financial, it's psychological, and we'll get to that later. If you want to make sure you're actually ready to retire early, not just on paper, but emotionally as well, stick around for sign number 4, where I talk about a phased retirement strategy that bridges both worlds. Sign number 2, you're not 59 and a half yet, but you have large non-retirement account balances. One of the biggest misconceptions in retirement is that you have to wait until age 59 and a half to retire, all because of early withdrawal penalties. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't have to wait until 59 and a half to retire. If you've built in tax flexibility, meaning your assets are spread across multiple account types, you may already have access to penalty-free income right now. This includes brokerage accounts that don't have age restrictions, Roth IRA contributions, which can be withdrawn tax and penalty-free, and 72T SEP rules, which allow you to take penalty-free IRA withdrawals before 59 and a half under certain conditions. The age 59 and a half rule applies only to tax-deferred retirement accounts like traditional IRAs and 401ks, and even then there are certain exceptions. For example, the age 55 rule lets you take penalty-free withdrawals from a 401k or 403b, assuming you left your employer at age 55 or older. Again, it's important to note you have to leave your employer at age 55 or later. It doesn't apply if you roll the money to an IRA or leave your employer earlier than 55. The financial media has drilled retirement age 62 or 65 into our heads as an assumption for so long that so many people don't realize they already have years of tax efficient income available to them through other types of accounts. And that misconception can lead to years of unnecessary work just to wait for some IRS number to tell you it's okay to retire. And worse, it creates a false sense of being stuck. The truth is, with the right income layers, you can strategically retire in your mid-50s without ever triggering a 10% penalty. Here's what you want to look out for in your financial structure. Do you have 3 to 5 years of expenses in after-tax brokerage or cash reserves? Have you made Roth contributions, not conversions? Those can come out at any time, regardless of your age. And do you understand the 72T SEP strategy if your money is tied up in pre-tax retirement accounts? The point is, you don't need to memorize the IRS tax code, but you do need to have a tax-smart plan. Here's an example. A recent client of mine had $1.3 million split up between a Roth IRA, brokerage account, and traditional IRA. Even though they were only 55, they had 7 years of cash flow that they could pull without penalties by structuring the withdrawal sequence correctly. They thought they had to wait until age 60 plus, but they didn't have to. Most people are technically free, but they're waiting for permission that they don't need. If you're still worried about whether your assets are too locked up to retire early, again, stick around. Sign 3 is about why your timing, not your resources, is your biggest advantage. Sign number 3, you're working for safety, but you're sacrificing opportunity. This one is more of a mindset trap than a math problem. You run the numbers, your savings are solid, but you're still showing up to work every day and pushing the retirement goalpost back. 2 years after you said you would retire, now you're saying, just another 2 more years. You tell yourself it's for security and just a little more margin, but what are you really doing? You're trading years of your freedom and flexibility for diminishing returns. Working longer, it can give you more savings and financial security, but it doesn't give you more time, more health, or more energy. In fact, the years between age 55 and 65 are some of the most physically and cognitively vibrant years of your retirement, but only if you actually use them. Research shows that most retirees face their highest financial vulnerability within 5 years before and after retirement. And that's because sequence of returns risk, not portfolio size, can destroy retirement sustainability if a market dip hits at the wrong time. And here's the kicker. If you've already built a portfolio that can weather that storm, working longer doesn't really help that much. In fact, it might increase your risk of retiring in the wrong time. And while you're hedging against a risk you might never face, you're also missing out on once-in-a-lifetime trips when your knees still work, time with the grandkids before they're fully grown, and creative energy that you'll never really get back. A study by AgeWave and Edward Jones found that 61% of retirees said they wish they had spent more time enjoying life rather than working longer. Here's a quick exercise. Would you rather have $10 million but only 1 year to live, or $1 million with 30 years to enjoy it? And you can't leave any money behind. Which option would you choose? The point is, money is useless without time. Your biggest asset isn't in the bank, it's on the clock. So how do you make sure that your retirement plan protects both your money and your time? Well, first, create a guardrail-based retirement plan instead of relying on a static withdrawal strategy. Model your plan under both early and traditional retirement timelines just to see and compare. And finally, look at actual lifestyle trade-offs and not just numerical projections. When people do this, they often find that their early years of retirement are worth far more than the dollars that they're chasing. If you're still unsure, in sign number 4, I'll show you a hybrid approach, a way to test early retirement without fully committing and still protecting your long-term security. Sign number 4, you're craving freedom, but you haven't tried slowing down or phasing into retirement. If the idea of full retirement makes you a little uneasy, but you're still dreaming of the freedom that it brings, then a phased or adaptive early retirement might be your missing link. This isn't about quitting cold turkey. It's about taking a calculated step back, testing what retirement actually looks and feels like, while maintaining safety nets like part-time work, consulting, or slowing down if your job allows it. Think of it like a retirement trial period or retirement on training wheels. The uncomfortable truth is that most retirees don't know what they're retiring into. They know what they're retiring from: stress, deadlines, commuting, but not what they're moving towards. And that can lead to hesitation, or worse, full retirement followed by boredom, anxiety, or regret. In many cases, retirees lose their sense of purpose and meaning outside of work. But when you shift into an adaptive phased retirement, you do 3 powerful things. Number 1, you buy time. to figure out what you actually want from retirement, build an identity outside of your career, and find a new purpose. Number 2, you preserve some options and flexibility by keeping some income streams open. And number 3, you build confidence, because you can test out your retirement before you fully commit to it. I've seen retirees take a 6-month sabbatical, drop to 20 hours a week, or consult 1 to 2 days a month and find out that their fears of retirement were completely unfounded. And the data backs this up. A study by the Trans-America Center for Retirement Studies found that 47% of retirees who took a phased retirement reported greater satisfaction with their transition and better financial outcomes. They didn't just retire, they designed their retirement. Here's how to test if a phased retirement is right for you. Number 1, run a scenario in your Monte Carlo simulation where you work part-time for 1 to 3 years before full retirement. Assess the impact of your portfolio withdrawals. Chances are they're going to shrink pretty considerably. And finally, look at how much flexibility that gives you for healthcare bridging, delayed Social Security, or potential Roth conversions. A couple I worked with reduced to 50% work for 2 years, and it lowered their portfolio withdrawals by over $150,000, delayed Medicare enrollment for about 2 years, and gave them the emotional permission to retire without feeling afraid or guilty. That's the power of a flexible retirement plan. Let's recap the 4 overlooked signs that you might be more ready to retire early than you think. Number 1, your savings say yes, but your mind and emotions say no. Number 2, you're not 59 and a half yet, but your accounts are accessible. Number 3, you're working for just in case. And number 4, you haven't tested retirement or know what will replace those 40 hours a week. If any of those resonated with you, you may be more ready to retire than you think. Today's video wasn't just about numbers, it was about shifting your belief system. Retirement isn't a date, it's a design challenge. And sometimes the real key to success isn't about more money, it's about awareness that the rules you think you're playing by might not even apply to you. If you're ready to stop waiting and start designing your ideal retirement even before 59 and a half, head to hawaiiadvisor.com to schedule a free consultation. I work with clients virtually across the country, helping them navigate these transitions and build a plan that's fully aligned with their goals. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more strategies to build your wealth, reduce your taxes, and retire with confidence. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.